you'd gone through the process of trying to adapt one of your books before, Paper Towns, and you had kind of a rocky road of bringing it to the screen. Were you apprehensive with this one, having it be so beloved, about going through the process again and trying to turn it into a film?
Yeah, I was very apprehensive. I didn't want to sell the rights at all. I didn't let my agent send out the book before it came out or anything like that, like you usually do. And I was very, yeah, I didn't want to do it. But when I met with the producers, the people who ended up producing the movie, and they just made a very compelling case that they were going to make an extremely faithful adaptation, and they have kept that promise every step of the way, and that means the world to me. And that's why we're going to be doing Paper Towns with them, and Nat's going to star in that, which is going to be awesome and fun. But yeah, that's why.
There's all worked out.
Yeah.
There's this extra layer of kind of awful for Isaac as he goes through kind of the journey, I guess. Not only is he dealing with cancer, he's now also dealing with blindness, and he's dealing with a breakup. And what kind of, I guess, goes into the psychology of not necessarily what he's dealing with, but in your experience, what the abandoner, I guess, is dealing with? Kind of, I guess, this instinct. Yeah, kind of this, I guess, this instinct to protect from hurt. But I guess in kind of doing research and developing kind of the character, what did you find as far as what these people are encountering?
It was really helpful meeting with a guy named Ethan, who I met at he's a blind guy who went blind when he was 19, and he was dumped, and I was like, God, and he was really, he had definitely had an edge to him, and he was really funny. He was super funny. And I guess one of the main things with the characters, I wanted to make sure that he wasn't the joke, because like it's just too painful for a character that is going through all that to be the joke. I said I want that character to be funny, what I learned from that guy was that he really didn't blame his girlfriend who dumped him at the time, because, yeah, it is. I mean, it's a lot to take on as a high schooler, and that's why it's hard to hate her. I mean, as the character, I kind of did hate her.
But like Hazel has a lot of sympathy for her, especially in the book.
Yeah.
Because Hazel's able to sort of zoom out in a way that you're up.
Not because
you're obviously not.
Yeah, I'm in the position, but she's like, oh yeah, I think in the scene, even in the movie, she does a little bit.
Yeah.
You also have I guess what I would call the break stuff scene, where there's this interesting dichotomy, because here they're trying to have this deep, meaningful conversation about the book, and in the background, it's chaos, which kind of feeds through the rest of the film. But when you're shooting this, how difficult is it to know, I guess, your limit? Because like, you're just going to town on like pillows and trophies or whatever, and they're trying to stay focused. So like, do you almost have a mission to like
be inconsiderate?
Yeah, like let's see how far I can go until they just can't take it anymore?
I had my first take ever doing it. They told me before we started shooting, oh, you can hit this wall, you can hit this bench, you can hit this pillow, right here, right here, right here. I said, okay, yeah, whatever. And then they took about 2 hours to film, and I'd forgotten the place I was supposed to hit by the time they did it. And I just said, and I got myself all revved up for the scene. And I just went crazy, started knocking everything. And then at the end of the scene, they're like, you hit all the wrong places. And then they had me do it again, where I hit all the right places. And Josh came up to me and goes, I'll definitely use the first one. Yeah, because it's like way more raw and stuff, but it's somebody's house. But I mean, in that case, the scene, that took a lot of rehearsal and stuff just to figure out the blocking of it. But once we got the blocking of it down, it was fun. Yeah.
There's also this the living funeral scene. There's this very interesting balance because you have to strike this fine line between it being light and humorous and it being very heavy and very serious. How difficult is it to both write it and also play it? Because if it teeters one way or the other, it's either it feels tasteless or it feels melodramatic and not really consistent with the characters. So how difficult is going into that scene to try and to walk that fine line?
Well, from my perspective, that scene was the kind of culmination of the tone of the book. I was trying to find a way to tell a story that was honest and part of being honest is funny. Like, I mean, part of the, you know, people.
Part of dealing with pain is funny.
Yeah, I mean, even at the very end of people's lives, like, they're still fully human. You know, they still have as much humor and anger and frustration and sadness and joy as any other person. And I felt like that scene, you know, that's what we were really trying to capture.
I think it's my favorite scene. I mean, just thinking about it choked me up because it was like a real, you know, we'd all become super close, and doing that scene. I mean, it was easy to be funny almost because there was like a sense of security because we really did love each other, you know, doing it. So like I think there's a line in it where I'm like, "Hey, you're supposed to be dead," or something.
Yeah,
like that,
I love
which
that
is
line.
dark. I think that was an improv or something.
It was an
dark,
improv,
but it felt totally right in the moment. You know, it's like that. This is because it is weird that we're doing it. You know, so the fact that we're all kind of we're mixed about it. You know, we're like both kind of making fun of it and trying not to deal with the reality.
Yeah, but when you love someone and you can joke with them,
yeah,
and they need that. They need you to joke with them because that's when you're treating them the way that like a person.
You're not being too delicate. Like,
Yeah,
I hate that. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
people don't want to be treated delicately like that. All, you know, people want to be treated as humans. The same way that we all want to be treated that way.
I think that's it. I think that's all I got. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, those were really interesting questions.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.